I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution. And we're back for another installment of Heavy Muscle Radio. We're live, of course, and I'm joined by Chris, the technician, Aceto. And we are 2 weeks out from the Arnold Classic, which is pretty cool. I had a birthday this past weekend, but my birthday really wasn't important because I stopped counting. Jim Manion, however, is 80 years old. Can you believe it?
Congratulations. Happy birthday to you both.
Yeah.
Jim doesn't look a day over 60, and you look his age. I'm just kidding.
I think he looks better than me. Dan sent me a picture of Jim. He took in the gym, and I said, Jam, is this from like 20 years ago? He goes, no, I took it. I was teasing.
Is that the one you posted?
I think he posted that on the Facebook.
Yeah, that's. I think you put on our Instagram.
I think what's his name?
That's how I did know it was his birthday. Only because
I said, is that from 20 years? He goes, it was from 20 minutes ago. I said, all right. I said, you look so good.
It's insane, dude.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. You know what it is? It just goes to show you, if you take care of yourself, you know, it's like you know, you're going to live forever. I mean, Jim is like he doesn't have anything wrong with him health-wise. He's sharp as a tack, which is the most important thing, you know, because the biggest thing that I think probably you and I both fear is that we're going to lose our mind when we get to be older.
Well, we got to give him that test. I told you that I said that Trump uses. It's a dementia test. He thinks it's an IQ. He goes, it's book, woman, girl, house. And then you have to repeat it.
Yeah.
Book, woman, girl, house.
He's like, I did really good on that test. They said I did excellent, right? Isn't that what he said?
Aced, no, use the word Dave. Aced. I aced it. There's never been a better wordsmith, right, than Donald Trump. Yeah. He actually said he's the Mona Lisa of, I think he called himself the Mona Lisa of Twitter.
Yeah.
His words.
He actually might be a better nickname guy than Lonnie Teeper. What do you think?
Oh, definitely.
Right?
The best.
He did reuse the crooked nickname. He dropped it. He calls Hillary Clinton now beautiful Hillary Clinton, and he calls the Joe Biden.
The Joe Biden crime family, he calls them.
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to give an update on Gregg Valentino. A lot of people have asked me. I've been talking to him every day. He's in the hospital. He had a gallbladder attack initially. And they went in there, and I figured, Chris, since we're such a very educational show here, I figured I would give people a little bit of an anatomy lesson of what's going on, because a lot of people don't know how the liver, the gallbladder, and the pancreas kind of interact with each other. And it's important because that's how you digest your food and you absorb all the protein you eat as a bodybuilder. So I'm going to put my glasses on so I look studious here, and I'm going to pull up a little graphic that I have. And I'm going to give you guys a little lesson. If you're not interested in school or anything like that, then just kind of ignore this. But if you like to learn, so it's going to be good for you. Here we go. So you see this picture here, Chris?
I sure do.
The liver is that big, red thing. You see that little green thing, the gallbladder?
Yeah.
And then you can see the stomach. And you can see the pancreas is kind of intertwined. The stomach kind of wraps around the pancreas. The pancreas is in yellow there. And then the spleen, which is really just stores blood. We don't have to concern ourselves about that. But if you notice, the liver is what produces the bile, okay? And that's how it actually detoxifies itself. So all the toxins come through out of the liver with the bile that the liver produces. The liver does produce. It's not the gallbladder that produces. The liver produces it. Goes into that little sac there, which is the gallbladder. You can see the arrow pointing to it. And if you see that green little like hose that comes out of that gallbladder, that's the common bile duct. So all the gunk, all the crap in the liver comes out through there, and it's deposited into the duodenum, which is the big. Well, all that means it's the small intestine. It's the first part of the small intestine is known as the duodenum, and the gallbladder pumps bile into there, and the pancreas puts its digestive enzymes in there. So the lipases, proteases, lipases digest the fats, the proteases digest the protein, and the amylases, will digest the carbohydrates in your small intestine. Now, what the bile does, it almost acts like soap. So if you get grease on your hands and you wash your hands with soap, it breaks the little oils on your hands into smaller pieces. So it doesn't digest the fats, it just makes them into smaller pieces, which makes it easier for the lipases from the pancreas to kind of digest it. And then as the protein digests into amino acids, you absorb it through the wall of the duodenum and the small intestine, and you obviously then can use the protein. What happened with Gregg is that we see where it says that major duodenal papilla? That's the opening to where the common bile duct puts the bile, and the pancreas dumps its digestive enzymes. So they all go through that one little duct. If that thing gets blocked, Chris, you're screwed. So what happened in Gregg's case is he had a gallstone, and the gallstone went into the common bile duct and blocked the major duodenal papilla, which didn't allow bile to come out, and it also didn't allow the pancreatic digestive enzymes to come out. So what happened was his eye turned yellow, and he got jaundiced from the bile getting back up, and then he got pancreatitis because the pancreatic juices couldn't come out of his pancreas. So they went in there and I think they go through your throat, and they actually suck out the block stone, the gallstone that's in there, and they free it up. But after they do that, it's very traumatic to that area, so you get a lot of inflammation. He had a small infection in the area, a little laceration to the duct, and so he's in the hospital in a lot of pain because when the pancreas gets inflamed, as you know, anything causing pancreatitis or even like a pancreatic tumor, very, very painful. So luckily, there's nothing seriously wrong with Gregg, but he obviously is in a lot of pain. He's still in the hospital. And this is what happened. So it's very important that the gallbladder, have bile that can flow easily out of it. The problem with Gregg is he's got a lot of stones in that gallbladder, and eventually they're going to have to take that thing out because otherwise another stone can go right into that duct and block it again. Now, there are online, people always ask me, I haven't done it personally, but I know people have done these gallbladder cleanses. Have you seen these things?
Yeah, I asked you about it last week.
Yeah,
I know someone you tried to tell. I know someone who's done it, and I think you told me that you were the one who gave me the recipe for him. I can't remember way back.
At some point. Yeah, what you do is it's like an olive oil and lime juice like mixture, and the olive oil, because there's so much fat in it, you're drinking like a glass of it. It makes the gallbladder like contract like crazy, and I think the lime juice dilates the duct a little bit, and all those stones just get spit out right into the intestinal tract. And when you poop, later that day, you'll see the stones actually in the toilet bowl. If it works. So the problem is if you have a lot of stones like Gregg has, it could, they could get stuck. So you might not want to do that if your gallbladder is in a really bad situation.
Dave, what is the number one contributor to stones?
They don't really know what causes. Sometimes it's genetic. Sometimes it's diet related. Sometimes it can be dehydration. It's there's a lot of different causes of it, and I think a lot of the time they just don't know what causes it, and they get it taken. Nick Trigilli did some stupid video where he's like, implying that Gregg caused his own gallbladder stones. And then he was saying that I think there was a girl who had her appendix taken out, and he was saying that she caused her own appendix to be taken out because of her diet and not doing the right thing. You know what the funny thing about appendix is, Chris? The appendix is a little. Let me get rid of this. Oh, by the way, there is a GoFundMe campaign link. Sid put it below for Gregg and to help with a surgery because he's got a lot of medical bills. If you guys want to donate, please go to the GoFundMe page for Gregg Valentino.
Well, Grant Stone's wife's just started a $355 million. Grant Cardone, the big real estate guy down in Fort Lauderdale, his wife started a $355 million GoFundMe campaign for Trump. So I contributed to that this morning. So
You better go contribute.
I'll have to wait till tomorrow to donate to Gregg.
Yeah, because you only take so much money out of your account at one time, right? So anyway, the appendix is a little appendix essentially. It's a little piece that comes off your colon, and sometimes it doesn't really have any purpose, at least that we don't know of. At least they think it's some of these vestigial organs that maybe at some point in the past had something to do with breaking down, like cellulose or something like that. But there's no use to it in humans, and sometimes it's like a blind pouch. Sometimes food can get stuck in there, and it could it can get infected. The interesting thing about the appendix is that it's very genetic. I had my appendix taken out at 17. My father did, and my sister did. All of us had appendix out at 17. So it can't be related to a lifestyle. It has to be a genetic component to the appendix getting irritated and swollen to the point where it has to be removed. Like I said, there's absolutely no purpose that we know of. So getting it taken out is not a big deal. But so Gregg is, suffering. So let's, anyone out there who's a Gregg Valentino fan, a supporter, if you can help him out. And I know he appreciates all the love and support and prayer. So that's that.
And where is he, Dave? In New York?
He's at Mount Kisco Hospital in Westchester. Yeah. So you want to go visit him?
No, just I know he's in, upstate. So upstate.
Yeah, he's a little higher up than he's not. White Plains is Westchester, but he's Upper Westchester.
Yeah.
All right, now, did you see our very own Sid Faruqi actually officiated, or I say announced, a basketball game this past weekend? And
yeah, he told me he was going to, because when we discussed Cooper Flag on the show.
Yeah.
He said that, I think he texted me and said that he was going to be officiating or announcing a show.
Yeah, that's Carmelo Anthony. So Carmelo Anthony.
I said Cooper Flag will smoke Carmelo Anthony. I may not be right on the Arnold Classic predictions, Dave.
Well, he's not going to smoke Carmelo Anthony, but Carmelo Anthony's son. His son. Sid said that Cooper Flag is better than Carmelo Anthony, though. So Carmelo Anthony's son, I should say.
I told Sid that 3 weeks ago.
This Cooper Flag guy is going to be. He's
going all the way, Dave.
Yeah, this is a quote from Sid is that Cooper Flag will be the Chris Bumstead of the NBA.
I said he's Larry Bird because he's the same height or 1 inch shorter, except a lot more agile.
Right.
In other words, he thinks he can play any position, but he's super fast up and down the court as opposed
to Maine.
Yeah.
He's a Maine guy.
He's got a twin brother.
He does?
Yeah, he's got a twin brother.
How old's the twin brother?
I don't know, but they were on the state championship team last year. How old is he, or how tall is he?
How tall is the brother?
I think 6'7".
Yeah, so that's pretty close. 6'9". I think Cooper's 6'9". Sid said that he's LeBron James with Bumstead looks. There you go.
He's dead. He's dead on.
What did they?
I called him the Jay Cutler of Maine basketball because
he looks a little like Jay Cutler.
He's got it together. This guy's going to play.
His twin brother nowhere as good as Cooper, according to Sid. There you go. You got to get all. If you want your statistics from Howard Cosell, from Sid Faruqi, then you got it. There you go.
Sid, we'll work in at the Arnold Classic. We'll work in the name Cooper Flag.
It's a great name too, right?
Oh, it's a great name.
You got to be good with a name like Cooper Flag. It sounds like you're a patriot, right?
I think the town that he's from is, I forget what the name of it, but I think it's like 2,000 people.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder. You think his parents must be very tall too? I'm assuming.
No, they're not as tall as the guy I sent you the picture of today, Dave. Speaking of tall, isn't that funny? We just picked.
Yeah, that is funny. You sent me that thing. Chris sent me the picture of that. If you guys ever looked at the
post it up and see how he would have done it, against Shaquille O'Neal.
He was what,
8 feet 11 inches. Do you get the picture? You can post it.
Yeah, I got it. I'll pull it up from. I don't have it on here. Hold on. Was that Robert Wadlow?
Yeah, from Guinness Book.
Yeah. This is crazy.
Is this
a new one? Hold on. Let me see.
I've never seen that picture before, which is why I sent it to you, and I knew you'd love it. I didn't know you'd be talking basketball and Cooper Flag.
This guy.
No, this is the Turkish guy.
Yeah. Oh, maybe he's the tallest living guy. Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's only 8'2".
Yeah, the other guy was the guy from when we were kids, when we would buy the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah, you see the fattest twins, and you see the smallest person, and the guy with the mustache, the longest mustache from India.
Do they? I don't even know if kids have go to. Well, I guess my kids go to the book fair. So I don't know if kids actually read anymore now. But hold on, this guy. Yeah, I remember.
There he is.
Yeah,
#1 draft pick for the Nets.
Look how long the pants are. I love the pants.
It's insane.
Yeah, it is pretty insane.
8'11". So he's 6'9", 7'9", 8. He's 2 feet taller than Cooper Flag.
Oh my God, that's funny. That's very fun. Anyway, so congratulations, Sid, on announcing that game. I'm sure it was fun. It's always good to have celebrities in the house. I just wanted to mention one thing, which has nothing to do with bodybuilding. Then we'll talk about Arnold Classic. But have you seen this Barbie movie?
Of course not.
I watched it because my kids were watching it. It's the dumbest movie of all time, and they're going around and they're like outraged that it's not getting like winning awards at these award shows. I don't know what people are watching. I feel like my father hated.
Dave, I knew you were going to bring up your father's name. I was going to say, what would your father say?
Hated when movies, pop culture movies would get these nominations.
What was the TV show that used to review the movies? The two guys that used to argue.
Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah, Siskel and Ebert. What would they say about the Barbie movie?
Who knows? The only one guy's alive now, right? He probably woke. They'd probably say it's a classic.
No, they would just say it's a movie made to generate income. That's how movies are.
They're trying to say it's like a movement, like it's making like some kind of a statement. In this, it's the dumbest movie of all time. I literally did not enjoy it.
I did not see it, Dave, but I'll take your word for it that it's the dumbest movie.
Yeah. Thank you. Love the glasses. I'm trying to look intelligent.
Well, when we go on Family Feud, you can wear those.
Yeah, Chris is dying to guess on Family Feud.
Yeah, we're gonna have you, Nasser. What was on my list? You, Nasser, a couple. George. No, George wasn't on there.
No.
Was he? Maybe he was.
I don't know. Milos has to be on there, right?
No, who's on my list?
I don't know. I got to look back and see what you texted me.
I just said you and Nasser were on the NFL team, so you guys can go on Family Feud.
They moved Bob Goldman moved his Hall of Fame ceremony to the International Sports Hall of Fame. He's got it. He's holding it at the Olympia this year.
I didn't know that. How many years he's been doing it at the Arnold?
He's always at the Arnold. I don't know what happened. They moved it. Evidently.
That's strange.
Yeah, it is.
Anyone know the gossip? Who's listening to the show on that? Get the Australian kid on there. He'll pretend he knows. He'll say he heard something, but he won't be able to say it. Xavier.
Where's Xavier when we need him?
He'll say, I heard something, but I can't reveal the source and I can't reveal what it is.
Yeah.
But it's something big about Bob Goldman.
No, you're right. Top 5 answers on the board. Name something to lose water.
Dandelion.
Samir would say what? Stress?
Stress. Reduce stress.
Dandelion. Milos, 200 milligrams injectable Lasix.
Every 3 hours, I said. Ding.
Oh man, that's funny. It's pretty good. All right, Chris, I can't show the picture, but Chris sent me a really good picture of Ramon Dino, who looks.
It's a video.
Oh, it is a video. I didn't. Oh yeah, it was a video. You're right. It was a video, and he looks pretty outrageous. But I can't show it to you guys. But I take my word for it. He looks really good. Now,
don't be like my Dave. What? Don't be like my son and post the picture. Don't make a snafu and post it on your TikTok.
No, I think you posted. You told me not to. But I wanted to say this, that the classic lineup at the Arnold obviously is a 2-man show between Ramon Dino and Urs Kalsinski, and I think if as far as battles, I mean, such Bumstead not being there, I mean that's a pretty good battle. I mean, obviously you have an emotional investment in Ramon. Ramon was clearly second place at the Olympia. Does Urs have a chance to beat him? or no, in your mind?
I don't think any show is a slam dunk. I don't think it's a slam dunk for anyone. So I think, I would say that it'd be very hard for Urs to get by him simply because
they were pretty close at one point.
No, they weren't. They've never been actually. So I'll stop you there. The first year Urs beat him at the Olympia, I don't think he should have beaten him. So, and then he's never beaten him since. So that is just facts talk.
Yeah. So I mean, that's an old picture. But no one's. I noticed that none of these guys are putting up like recent pictures, and I don't know if is it like a psych out thing, or is it just that?
Yeah, well, I mean, Ramon doesn't post pictures at all.
So, no, I noticed that. Isn't that kind of weird? Because he has such a big following. You would think the followers would be demanding pictures of him.
No, they are, but he likes to just get ready for the show and show up and let the chips fall where they fall.
But I'm saying he still has a lot of followers, so you would think that a lot of people say, "Well, you got to put up stuff, or people won't follow."
Because he's training for the win and not the followers, and there's a difference. And you know what? There's a difference, and it's stunning to see open bodybuilders like ultra reveal themselves. Hadi and Samson.
Yeah.
I mean, we know exactly what they look like on Instagram, which is never a good thing because you will not look on stage like you do on Instagram. Period. Why would you?
Why does Ramon beat Urs?
Muscle density is fairly overwhelming. Front double bicep, his arms just for. Why doesn't he?
I'm asking you.
Muscle density, and I'll sit on that.
Is it just the separate? I mean, he's got really good muscle separation. They both have really good.
Yeah, they both have a. Urs is great. I just think that at this point in their careers, that Ramon is denser. I mean, I don't know if the bicep, the arm detail from behind on the back double is ridiculous.
He's got very good arms, Ramon.
And he's got crazy Christmas tree.
Yeah.
He's got the glutes and hams. He's got a crazy ab shot.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a big dude. He's got big shoulders and he's dense and I think he's bigger. He's just like bigger.
Has he made improvements, you think, since the Olympia?
I think that his stance in the lineup is better. And I think that goes a long way, which means, the shoulders a little bit rounder, I think, and the midsection is even tighter. And, classic is all about standing relaxed.
Right. Have you guys discussed it? I know we've had this debate with Kamali, the fact that Ramon moves around a lot. He fidgets a lot on stage. Has he been working on his presentation?
Kamali?
Kamali, we were talking about.
You said Kamal, which is not Kamali.
I meant Kamali. When we did the wrap up after the Olympia, we were talking about.
Believe me, when I get there, I don't have 10,000 people in the show. He will have those poses down, and he will have his presentation down.
I think he gets very excited about being on stage, and the fans get him all juiced up on there, and then he seems to move around a lot. It looks
he's fidgety, and I mean, I would agree with that.
So we're going to see a better Ramon.
It's a pretty low ball criticism in the whole scope of things. Thank you, King Kamali. It's not like King didn't say the ab shot's not really there. The side chest is not really there.
No, he's got everything. That's what
he fidgets.
Yeah.
It'd be like when they say Roden doesn't smile.
You're right. Remember, he went through a couple of years where he wasn't doing that. He smiled when he won.
Yeah, he did smile when he won.
Big smile. All right, let's talk about the Open. We Milos, Kamali, and myself with Sid did an iron debate, and we talked about the nuances of what it would take Samson Dauda to beat Hadi Chopin, and the consensus was that Samson kind of holds his destiny in his own hands, because it seems like if he can bring the level of conditioning he needs with the fullness, that he actually can beat Hadi because structurally he's better. Do you happen to agree with that assessment?
Yeah, I totally agree. Because I agree with that, and I think it works. I think it works to the advantage of Samson that Derek is not in the show. Another a guy who's more comparable to Hadi in terms of height. So as I think everyone's expectations is those two people. So because everyone's expectations is those people, and it probably will be those two people, when it comes down to putting them side by side, like I said last week, one of the things that you're going to be looking for is, we know what Hadi's going to be looking like. Fantastic.
Right.
So we're going to base who the winner is possibly based on the improvements of Samson, not necessarily the look of Hadi.
Mm-hmm.
So if we see like a bigger version of Samson, it's going to look like something. You're going to say, wow, he's bigger. And if you see something, like the Olympia, and he's more conditioned, you say, wow, he's better. Mm-hmm. So he has two options to be improved. He can come in the same condition as the Olympia, but be bigger, and you will say he is better. Or he can come in, he can come in either bigger or harder, one of the two. And we'll say that he's a better version of the Olympia. Whereas Hadi, I think what you see is what you get. And that's not a negative at all. You're going to see what he always brings, which is trademark conditioning, fantastic, most muscular, great back lat spread, phenomenal ab shot. He has a great front double too, actually, Hadi.
He does. No, he does.
He has a great front lat spread too. He has a fantastic front lat spread. He's got all the tools to win the show, but I just think that I would agree, without having even seen that show, that it comes down, the ball is in Samson's court more than anything.
Yeah, which is nice to have it in your ball in your court. But I think, and my assessment of the whole of the battle between these two guys came down to, because people want to blame someone why Samson's not at his best at the show. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact, this was my assessment at least, that Samson put on a lot of muscle over the last couple of years. And sometimes it just takes time to grow into that muscle, to get that maturity to that muscle. You can slap slabs and slabs of muscle on your body, and it doesn't look quite ready yet. And sometimes it takes a couple of years to kind of massage it and let it mature a little bit. And then you start seeing details and separation that maybe wasn't there before. Samson's a big guy with a big frame. Hadi's a shorter guy. He's got his frame filled out. It's been filled out for years. He makes quality changes to it every year. And we see just a little bit more detail, a little bit more hardness. But he doesn't really need to get any bigger. I mean, maybe if he got bigger, he would look worse, Whereas Samson is still growing, it seems like. And I think that he's a work in progress.
What do you think? I would agree with that. It's it takes some people who just add just summarize what you said. A lot of mass takes time for that mass to look defined. Even if there's I'm sure if you go backstage and try to pull like any fat or water, what feels like fat or water off Samson, you'd like, there is none.
Right. And
you say, okay, so why doesn't he look like Hadi? Well, they're different bodies. And people have different attributes, I mean, it might not be that, I don't, his best look might be the direction where he's going, which is a super full look, round, bigger every time, and quote, conditioned enough. It's not like he's not in shape. It's just that we're going up against sometimes people who are who can get in better shape.
Right. Right.
I mean, Derek Lunsford has had those glutes since the 212 days, He's just got a lot bigger. I mean, it's, what I mean? Like, his condition's always been, at times, phenomenal. Sometimes he's, in 212s, he did have a couple of shows that good, but.
Right. What do you think? If we separate ourselves from the top two guys, because I think pretty much, unless one of them really messes up, they'll probably more than likely be the top two. Do you see anyone else, basically seizing that third place position pretty convincingly, or do you think it's kind of wide open? I see it as being wide open, with guys.
I think it's wide open. I think it's wide open, and it's just how people show up at the, how they look and how they, and judges judge what's in front of them. But to some extent after that, to some mild degree too, they judge your improvements as well. But you know what I mean? Because if you've improved, automatically, if you're a judge, you're like, sit up on the edge of your chair and say, wow, he's improved. He deserves a really strong call,
Mm-hmm.
Compared to like, let's put him in the mix. So improvements do help, but at the end of the day, it's mostly what's in front of you.
One of the people we were discussing, as being a guy who I guess has to be taken pretty seriously is Rafa Brandao. And obviously he hasn't competed, I think, for what is this, 2 years? He took a year and a half off or something like that?
Let's see, a year and a half, I think.
Yeah. So he's coming back. Milos kind of said he heard 15 pounds heavier. I don't know if that's an accurate number, but does Raphael have a chance to do some damage here? Do you think he's a guy who could be a top 3 competitor in this lineup?
Yeah, because he's beaten everyone at his most recent showing. He beat everyone who he's got to go up against, right?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning the Olympia when he was 10th. He beat, with the exception of, you minus out the top names in 6, the other guys who, barely just got by him were 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Yeah. Yeah. And
arguably he could have been, higher at that show.
Mm.
So he's got to be considered a strong candidate for something, simply because he has the best body in the show.
Yeah, I would agree.
So in terms of bodies, you know what I mean? The way, lack of flaws. And you can have lack of flaws because I don't think Hadi has any flaws, really.
True.
But Raphael is a better body than his, for sure.
Yeah, structurally.
Just put together. And not only the structure, but the way the muscles themselves look. You know what I mean? The pecs look better, the shoulders look better, the legs are better in terms of like just the nice look.
He's put a lot of size on over the last couple of years, and he seems to make pretty steady. He doesn't make huge leaps and bounds, but he makes steady improvements, it seems like.
Yes.
And that's important. I mean, because how many competitors do you really see consistently year after year after year get better? Most times we see the same look. They gain a pound or two. You know what I mean?
Or people make a big jump and then that's it.
Or and then they don't gain any more after that, which I never understood, to be honest with you. But I don't know. People get more complacent after, and then they they don't push as hard. I don't know. I think sometimes getting to the pros is very, people push because they're so hungry for it, and then they get there, and then maybe they don't push as hard. Some people do, obviously, and so that's
sometimes their own criteria changes too. They to get to the pros, they lay it all on the line, and sometimes when you lay it all on the line, that's your best condition in your life, and then after that, you're always getting bigger. People say like, well, if you brought that condition from when you won, the pro card.
Yeah. Now, Marcella DeAngelis, Horse MD on Instagram, has been someone that we've been talking about a lot about, and I think Milos had mentioned that, the guy has got some outstanding shots from the front and the side. Seems like his back is where, he's maybe a little shallow, and I don't know if that's going to hurt him in this lineup because you have a lot of very complete looking bodybuilders. How do you think he'll do in this?
He could be up there. I mean, what's wrong with that front double bicep? Anything?
That's a great front double bicep. Yeah.
He's got a great front double bicep, great ab shot, great side shots. Look at that. Yeah. That's like a Tom Prince type shot.
Tom Prince, I was going to say, looks like, yeah.
And I think the only weakness that he has is the depth of the back double, but he's got a great back lat spread, which is weird. He's got, fantastic.
He's wide. He is wide, yeah.
Which is, that's sometimes when you're really wide, it takes a long time to either fill out your pecs, or if you're really wide, it takes a long time to build a lot of back thickness.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Brazilian genetics, man. The Brazilians are dominating, right? A few years ago, we were talking about the Middle Eastern guys. Now we're talking about all the Brazilian guys.
Yeah, between Rafael, Horse MD, and Ramon, and I mean, there's endless people from Brazil. Really, there's
Then
you know
got
all the other, I mean, all the other divisions. You know,
right.
they have men's physique. They have so many guys in the men's physique.
Yeah.
They have
Now they
classic
now they have
physique.
men's wellness too, Chris. Right?
What's that?
Men's wellness down there.
They have men's wellness.
You saw
They
that,
have,
right? Yeah. You did see that picture, right?
Yeah, I did see it. Was it fake or real?
No, it was real. It was real. Now, Jim Manion called me up and assured me that we wouldn't be seeing that in the IFBB, so don't worry about it. Don't have a nervous breakdown, please. I was saying that I thought John De La Rosa was going to be pretty dangerous in this lineup. So I think don't really realize how dangerous he is because of how complete he is. And what do you think about his chances?
Well, you know what? I just handicapped him in my head, and I went through not gigantic, which is not a negative, not peeled. He's not going to be high. Then my mind went to completeness, and that picture doesn't really do him justice in terms of completeness. Completeness. If Rafael does really well, De La Rosa does really well. If De La Rosa does really, really well,
very similar.
Rafael does really, really well because completeness shows up on stage as size.
Yep, you're right.
A lot of things create the illusion of being bigger than you really are, whether it be separation, condition, but completeness, lack of body parts that aren't fully developed. John has every body part is fully developed and fully round. So that is going to help him in the lineup. And he's got enough muscle, I mean, he's not going to be huge, but he's not going to be small by any stretch of the imagination, so.
You got a little COVID going on there? What's going on?
Who knows?
I was looking at some update pictures from. Sid wants to know who's Chris's front runner for a top 3 spot. I guess he means the next group of people we've been talking about.
Third is going to be. They're going to take a look at if you're.
Manion. He looks pretty good here.
It's going to be a good show, man.
Look at Antoine. Antoine put a lot of size on.
Yeah, and you know what? Out of all the Instagram pictures, that one's more real than it is fake.
Yeah. And look at his pecs and his
he's got a good physique. He's always had a great physique, and he's when he pulls it together,
he's a good poser too. He knows how to present himself.
Yeah, he's also complete.
Yeah. He's got calves. He's got quads. He's got arms,
shoulders.
Yeah.
Condition.
People almost forget. He almost beat? What's his name? You remember last year?
Ian.
Yeah, Ian. He almost beat Ian. Close at that show.
Well, according to Antoine, he did.
I'm sure he believes he did.
No,
I'm saying it was close
because he looked crazy at that show.
Yeah.
That was a show that he looked.
I thought that was his best look. Yeah, I agree. That was his best. Akeem Williams, also very dangerous. I mean, no one's talking about Akeem, which could sometimes be, good for the person no one's talking about, but and then he can surprise a lot of people. Wasn't he 5th at this show a couple of years ago?
Yeah. Akeem has every tool it takes to be the dark horse of the show, and I don't know what that means, where he places.
Right.
But I mean, from the side chest, side tricep.
Side leg.
Muscular.
I like that fancy physio tape he's got on there too.
Front double bicep.
Yeah. His problem is similar to what Horse MD. He's got those big freaky arms and delts, and he's got a wide back, but he doesn't have the middle part of that back. Sometimes he's a little shallow back there, and that can sometimes hurt him, I think. But he's dangerous. I mean,
I think so too.
If he comes in shredded, I think people have to take him very seriously. You know. And then, of course, James Hollingshead, who's always, he's going to be one of the biggest guys and probably the hardest guys in the lineup. Doesn't have the greatest shape, but I think he's good enough that he could definitely be a top 5 guy. I mean, I think people should take him very seriously.
I think James Hollingshead needs to be compared favorably. And he can do well. And I don't even know what well is because it's just so hard to figure out, right?
The problem is he's got a lot of muscle and he's got a lot of conditioning. I think
that's exactly why I said he just needs to have favorable comparisons where enough comparisons. You know what I mean? He needs several comparisons because he will move up quickly, because if you're judging the show, you'll just spit out in your mind exactly what you just said.
Right.
Size and condition. That's what it is. It's size and condition show.
The problem is when you're a guy like James Hollingshead, you don't want to be compared next to Samson Dowda because you get these guys that are shape freaks, and he doesn't have their structure, and then it exposes him.
But at the same time, he'll probably have better condition than Samson. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he's.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's going to make a big difference. I think that he can definitely fit into that 3rd through 6th spot for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think
maybe the excitement will. There's going to be some big breakthrough at this show. Someone is going to break through.
That was my next question. Who's going to be that guy?
Well, that's what we're talking about. I think that's how we're trying to handicap it for 3rd place. But God, who knows?
You got Mo Shaban too.
Is he? I didn't know Mo Shaban's in the show.
I mean, I see him on the list.
Also very complete. He's also very, very complete.
Yeah. He's got a lot of gifts.
He's really, really good. He's had some back injuries, I think.
Yeah, he was telling me this is a guy who lives in pain. I mean, he's got a lot of. He's got
a cookie company, by the way. You know that?
Oh, does he?
Yeah, it's they're unbelievable cookies. It's like the West Coast Juan Morel. He'd probably get pissed, and so would Juan that I said that, but I don't know who else.
He probably told me when I interviewed him. I don't remember. Yeah.
Juan is still doing the cookies, right?
Yeah. I think they do very well with those cookies. He's very good businessman. Him and his wife. They do great.
I know. So I didn't know Mo Shaban was.
I see him on the list. Unless my list is not updated, but
yeah.
And look, I don't think anyone's going to break that top 2 into that group, but I do think we're going to see a very, very good battle, close battle. Oh, there is that. Did you get him? Oh yeah, he's doing it. There it is. Thank you, Sid. I think we're going to see a very close battle for 3rd through 6th place, which is going to make the show interesting because the guys are very well lined up with each other, and they're not slouches. This is not going to be a weak show. I don't care what else it says. So you have 2 guys who are going to be Olympia level guys, and then you're going to have the next group of people that are going to be really vying, Chris, for bragging rights going into the rest of the season, because whoever places 3rd, 4th, 5th, those guys are going to now raise their stock up a lot. And we're going to obviously see them compete again, whether they do the Arnold Brazil or the Arnold UK. They're going to want to try to win a show and get that Olympia qualification. So
yeah, totally agree.
This guy says he disagrees. He thinks Raphael could break the top 2. I don't believe. Do you think that Raphael could beat one of those guys? I just don't see it happening. But
it depends on how much muscle he put on. If he put on 15 pounds, yeah. If he put on 15 pounds, yes.
But I mean,
he's beaten.
He hasn't beaten a Samson that looks like this.
No, but he beat a Samson who had 15 pounds less muscle also.
Right.
That's how he beats a Samson who has 15, because Samson's probably, maybe Samson might be 20 pounds bigger than 2 years ago.
So then what we're saying here is that because we don't really know what he looks like, Rafa Brandao might be this dark horse that we're talking about that could come in and surprise a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because we just don't know how much muscle he's really put on his frame. We haven't seen it displayed yet in contest shape, all tanned up and on stage. So that's good. That's exciting. That's a wild card we're not really sure about. And it's always good to have someone we're not really sure about because it adds a level of excitement to the show.
Yeah.
But
well,
he's always been that guy.
Best body in the show, without a doubt.
He's always been that guy. Even when you used to work with him, no one was talking about him, and then he'd show up and he'd like work his way up, and then you'd be like, oh, this guy kind of looks pretty good. He's not the biggest guy up there, but he kind of beats this guy. He's more conditioned than this guy. He's got better shape than that guy. So he is definitely a guy who knocks off people that you don't think he's going to knock off because of the balance of his physique,
Yeah.
So I could see him. Yeah, I could see that possibly happening. I said there's always one guy that you don't know in the show, and that could be the surprise guy. He might be the surprise guy in the show. I hope he brings it. It's just going to make the show that much more exciting, right?
Yeah, it's either way. No matter how you slice up the show, it's going to be a great show because, it's probably going to be, people want to see Hadi. People want to see Samson. Did he get better? If he did, to what degree and how it measures out against Hadi. People want to see, people include the judges, of course. They want to see, is Raphael 15 pounds bigger. People want to see Horse MD on this stage, because he's done one show and he was exceptional at it, when he competed against Samson after the Olympia and held his own. People want to see Akeem, what improvements he's made. People want to see Hollingshead, probably at his best. De La Rosa at his best. Moshe Bond, Antoine. I mean, if I left anyone out, I would always leave out like Rolly, right? We talk about the Olympia, and you'd say, "What about Rolly?" I'm like, "Yeah, what do we do with him?" So the point is, it seems like everybody's coming in improved, and what's different about the show is, one, the lighting is usually really good here compared to the Olympia. Compared to the Olympia, it's usually really good. So we might say that everyone's much better than the Olympia, but just by definition from the lighting. Right. And two, Raphael and Hollingshead and Antoine and Moshe Bond, I don't know if they were all in that Olympia, not last year, the most recent, but the one before, where there were 35 guys.
Right.
So they kind of like, when you have 10, you're going to get call-outs, and you're going to get compared, and no one's going to get overlooked because the lineup is not endless.
Right. Let me quiz you to see how well you know me, since you usually know me. What's my favorite usually part of the Arnold night show?
Let's see, the Arnold night show?
Saturday night show.
Oh, the strongman competition.
Yes. They always, for people who
Family
don't know,
Feud, Dave. Yeah, you got to bring me on for that one.
Yeah, you know me. I love the fact that they put the last event of the strongman on Saturday night, so that usually it's pretty close, and then that last event will determine what they do. Sometimes they have the dumbbell press. Sometimes they've done a lot of different events there. But I think it does make the show last a little longer, because they got to set up and put all the stuff out there. But I think I like it. And the fact that they only have 3 divisions, I guess, per night on Friday night, and then 3 on Saturday, it's not going to be like, oh my God, we have 16 divisions to do here, we're never going to get through it. So it kind of becomes more enjoyable, and you kind of like to watch stuff like the strongman, because it is exciting to see these big freaky guys on stage lifting crazy heavy weights, especially when it's close. I remember the battles that, what's his name, used to have Derek Poundstone with what was the guy from Lithuania? What's his name? Oh my God!
Nobody knows his name. Yes, you can just make it up, and
you know what I'm thinking about. But anyway, there were some great battles. Brian Shaw versus Hap Thor Bjornsson on stage. I mean, there's been some great battles up there, and so that just makes it more exciting. I think isn't the live stream free this year? I think they're doing the live stream for free.
I don't know. Is it free?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
The prejudging and finals?
I think the whole live stream is free.
Wow. I just want to thank the Arnold people for the incredible tickets I heard we're getting.
Yeah, well, we have press passes. They are coming through. And I have to tell you, I have been haven't booked my flight yet. I don't know why. I'm waiting till the last minute, but
you bet. You watch when I just checked the flights today. I was curious. I have a ticket, but I was just checking. They're expensive coming from Maine.
Yeah, well, hopefully for my Florida ones are not too expensive, but they probably are because probably everyone's already booked everything. But
yeah.
They used to. I know there is a direct flight from where I am here, but hopefully it hasn't sold out. But I'll take a look at it. I'm excited. I haven't seen you in a while, so it'll be good to hang out.
That's the Olympia. It'll be who? Me, you, and Sid.
Lee Priest will be there too.
Lee Priest.
And John Hansen is coming. Got him.
Wouldn't miss it.
So we'll have a good crew.
Lee Priest coming from where? From Australia?
Yes. He's going to be working.
Who's bringing him there?
The Guy's company. He works for Guy now. Do you know that?
Oh, yeah.
Kratom company.
Yeah. Maybe I'll be all Kratomed out on my A game when I get out there.
You'll be sleeping on someone's couch. I don't know whose it is, but probably mine. Chris will come to my room because he'll want me to tell him some stories. And I'll be editing something. Chris will be sleeping on the couch.
Because I'd say, Dave, who can we go on Family Feud with?
Chris, you're obsessed with this Family Feud thing.
Because you know what? Because nobody has bodybuilding. No characters are like bodybuilding produces the most crazy characters of all time.
Top 5 sources of protein in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Anything, Chris?
No, it'd just be because we'd be going against like some family from the Midwest, and we would get wouldn't be top 5 for bodybuilding. We'd just say like top 5 protein sources.
Right.
And someone from our side would disagree with the judges from Family Feud.
Someone would say tofu.
Because someone would say it's an incomplete protein. It's not a good source of protein.
Oh, Jim Reapers. There we go. Okay. Thank you, Sid. So Lee will be there. But Lee will be there. And actually, I told Jimmy the Bull. I said, Jimmy, because Lee and him are like buddies now. So I said, if you want to stay in Lee's room, I'll fly you out there. So Jimmy might be there too. You never know. But, don't bank on it because Jimmy hasn't bought a plane ticket yet. So we'll see. If he waits till the last minute, I told him, don't buy a ticket for $1,000. I'm not covering it.
Oh, yeah. There'll be 1,000 for sure if you wait till the last minute. They're 1,000 now.
I get as soon as the show's over, I'm going to buy my ticket. Now I feel guilty that I haven't paid for it yet. So, anyway, I think the show's going to be really good. It's fun. I haven't been there in a while, obviously, so I think it'll be cool catching up with all the people and
probably like 80 degrees or something. If I have some crazy.
I don't know. It's probably going to be freezing there. I'm
one of the best.
Coming from it's 80 degrees here. It's going to freeze my tuchus off over there.
It's in my top 5 list for an investment. It's always every year I talk about Columbus, and what I talk about Cape Coral, and Fort Myers, Sarasota. Outstanding real estate investments. You can never go wrong ever.
There's a lot of stuff. Believe me. If I had a lot of, I should have bought so much stuff on the first.
The worst thing to say is I should have. It's the worst.
I like to say it anyway.
Dave, that's how I got in. My father used to drive me around and say I could have bought that building. I'm dead serious.
21 degrees since showing us here in Columbus, Ohio.
Is it 21 right now?
It's 51 right now. That's not too bad.
Not bad.
This is for what is this for this is the forecast. How could they can't forecast the weather tomorrow? They're gonna forecast it in 2 weeks? I don't believe it. Sorry, Sid.
Artificial intelligence, they got it all figured out, Dave.
I'd like it to be 52 degrees, but I don't buy it.
We got to come up with the RX Muscle artificial intelligence scores after the prejudging. Maybe we can ask like Chatbox GPT or something, give us the top 5 after the prejudging.
Well, you know what? I guess the AI would base their judging on previous contests, right, with the same people. So how else could it assess anything, right? It can't look at the pictures that it said. So it's going to take the statistical, how many shows that Hadi won, how many shows that Samson won, and it'll probably compare that, I would think. I don't know if you can teach it. Can you actually program in, what to look for in bodybuilding? I mean, it's the most basically, personally super, your own opinion.
Dave, you know what's so funny? You'll come down to that. You'll be in like 5 years, be able to do anything you want with artificial intelligence, and they'll say, yeah, but it doesn't work for bodybuilding shows. You got to be there.
Yeah. No, but I just think it might be the hardest, thing to actually assess for artificial intelligence, because it's so subjective. It's so
well subject. It's subjective. If it is subjective, but if you have tons of experience and go to these shows all the time, it's not that subjective.
No, I'm saying for a computer to assess.
Yeah.
Saying because what is it going to do? It's going to measure the biceps, and it's going to measure the neck and your calf.
Check it's going to have the 8 artificial intelligence boxes. They're going to weigh him versus Milos's boxes.
Wasn't it supposed to be the neck, the biceps, the arms, and the calves are supposed to all weigh the same thing? Isn't that what?
That's who said that? Joe Weider or Arnold? The calves should be the same size as the neck or the
and the arms, right? I thought wasn't it Vince Garanda who said that or something like that?
Yeah, you know what, Dave? I think you're right, Vince Garanda.
Yeah. And how many people have that? Most people's arms are like 4 inches bigger than their calves, 5 inches bigger than
yeah.
Nowadays, at least, no one has calves.
Nobody wants calves.
No. How come guys had calves in the 80s?
What's that?
How come guys had calves back in the 80s? Do you think people trained them harder, or do you think that it was just,
I think people trained them. I mean, they were like a major. I told you.
People don't train calves.
Dave, the first workout I did calves. I'll tell you what. I did calves when I was 15 with Bob Gruskin and John Natashak.
Right.
And I did them in Pelham Parkway Gym, wherever you used to go, right?
I used to work at, yeah.
That's right. And John, I thought I was going to die through a calf workout. It was just so many sets and drop sets and like partials and squeezing and this and that like my feet were like this at the end of the workout. And that was like John did that as his to get calves out of the way, and then he'd go like, okay, I forget we'll get shoulders or something. And believe me, that calf workout with John was a very, very hard trainer. John who became, people don't know.
He had really good calves too, yeah.
Became an IFBB judge, and he was a great bodybuilder, 176-pound middleweight national champion. Super class. He would have been great in classic.
But I remember people had calves back then.
I'm giving you the example of how people trained them.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. I said, what as a bodybuilder? What? And I don't know if people don't.
No, because nobody does. You know what? I think that one of the best calf, the only calf exercise I could feel is like donkey calf raises, like the way Arnold did them with like Franco on his back.
Right.
Jeff King used to do those.
He had really good calves. Yeah.
Oh God, his calves were the same size of his neck. Vince Garanda would have loved him. or the calves were the same size of the thighs or something.
No, it was his calves and arms, the neck. There's Arnold doing the donkey raises, donkey calves. But yeah, it was funny because I remember when I first started training back in like the early 90s, late 80s. I would see guys in the gym with freaky calves, and I always had trouble with calves. I had very high calves. Eventually, I got them to grow, but I was just so impressed with just regular guys at the gym. Everyone would train calves like really, really hard, and I don't know if people don't train them as hard these days, or if the guys had better genetics back then. I don't know what it is.
Well, I don't think I don't think a lot of people give the mental focus to calves and abs like in that time period. The irony is, pull up a great picture of John Natashak. Not only did he have unbelievable calves, but he had phenomenal abs. He had what's so funny? John had a Milos body.
Yeah, I think he had better arms, don't you think?
square through the shoulders. Great midsection, great quads, great calves.
I'll pull a picture of John.
I think Milos' physique might have checked a couple more boxes, but
you're sounding terrible there. You better get some sleep.
I need an oil change, Dave. Look at those calves.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. That's a Bob photo right there.
Oh, is that a Grushkin photo?
Yeah.
In front of the fountain. Where's that? The IBM building?
Vegas. Yeah, I think he won the USA. I think he won the USA in Vegas. Maybe Nationals USA.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Bob out there in Vegas with him?
Oh, I'm sure they went everywhere, probably.
With the hot pot and there was no kitchen with the burner. Bob would bring the little burner and the pans and the pots and the photography and the dioderm and the
bags would Bob bring on the plane?
Essaclean, Dave had bring back a little Essaclean for John in case he probably needed it. The packs.
Can you imagine that bag that Bob had packed? Oh my God! Can you imagine the bags that Bob had, the suitcases and everything like that? How many suitcases would he bring with him?
He'd bring.
You travel with him,
He'd bring the food bag, the photography.
He had valises probably too, right back then.
Huh?
Did Bob have a valise? You remember the valises?
What's that?
A valise. That's what they called it was like a brand of luggage you would buy back then.
Oh, I don't know what he had.
Everyone back then called it a valise. Like everything was a valise, even if you didn't buy the actual valise brand. Everyone had that bag.
The food, it packed the food, so you wouldn't have to go to the grocery store right away. So,
he brought everything with him, though. Doug Wentz told me that.
Yeah,
Bob was packed to the hilt. He probably brought no clothes for himself or toiletries.
No, he'd bring some slacks and sneakers.
Oh, he would. No, he would bring.
And the dress-up shirt, the short sleeve dress-up shirt, the button-down little shirt, and a lot of Pall Malls. He'd make sure that you didn't want to have to run to like the 7-Eleven, so I'd bring lots of Pall Malls and a couple lighters.
For smoking cigarettes, right? You could do that. You can't even smoke anymore in a hotel. Thank God. You have to go outside. But yeah, those were the days. But I think it's going to be a good show, and maybe we'll get Milos on next week or Chris Cormier with us. We'll talk about final assessments.
Yeah, Cormier's a good analyst. To have, Milos and.
Yeah. Next week, I have the Secrets to Becoming a Diet Guru course. So you're not going to want to miss that. If you sign up online, let me bring up the. You can go through my DavePalumbo.com website. You click on the poster. It'll take you to the Secrets to Becoming a Diet Guru course page. It's $600, the course. It's a 9-hour class with an hour for lunch, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's next Saturday, September 24th. It's online. The whole thing gets recorded. Not only do you get learn from me nutrition, you're going to learn supplementation, performance-enhancing drugs, how to write diets, how to start a business in coaching, toxicity, detoxification. You're going to learn everything, plus unlimited question answering, and anything you could possibly want to know. But the best thing of all is that even if you are a coach, and even if you think you have a lot of knowledge, this is something that you can never get enough knowledge. And you know what? If you run a business and you pay a lot of taxes because you make a lot of money, this is a tax deduction too. And you're going to get my 100-page Secrets to Becoming a Diet Guru manual, which has all my protocols and everything I've developed over the last 30 years of doing this. So I know a lot of people really enjoy it. I have people take it time and time again. The good thing about this course is the online version gets recorded, so you can go back and watch it as many times as you want. So check it out, DavePalumbo.com. You can click on this link and then sign up for the Secrets to Becoming a Diet Guru course for next Saturday. All right, Chris, that is it for tonight.
2 weeks. We're 2 weeks out. I can't wait.
Yeah. It's I'm excited. I'm booking my flight right now. As soon as we hang up, then we'll be in Columbus. When are you getting into Columbus? A week before, or are you?
I'm getting in the Monday before. Ramon's going in Sunday from Brazil. So I'm going to go Monday, because it's the weight thing. He's, you saw the pictures I sent you. He's in shape and he's still got weight to drop. So
when do they weigh in for the?
I don't even know.
Is it Thursday?
Probably.
And when is he on stage?
I don't know that either. Friday, I think.
Oh, so
I mean, I'll figure it out like in the next 2 or 3 days.
I think he's
all
day.
Don't worry, Brazilian fans. Don't have heart attacks and say Chris Aceto doesn't even know when. You know what? I don't. Listen, I have gotten completely wrong days before. And people are like, don't worry, I'm still going to win.
Oh, man. All
like
right.
the
Well,
pre-judge when they started switching it from 2-day shows.
I want to send out my healing energy and prayers to Gregg Valentino. If you want to donate to his GoFundMe campaign, go to the Gregg Valentino GoFundMe page and you can help him out. He's a great guy, and hopefully he'll be out of the hospital soon. All right, guys. As we say every week with Heavy Muscle Radio,
the truth hurts.
Sure does. Good night. See you next week.